Hello, future developers. Welcome to another tutorial. So today we'll be learning about Flex. Okay, just an introduction to Flex. Okay, so Flex is going to help us align our elements, HTML elements, and then unlike the earlier days, you would have to use table and then some other CSS properties to you to achieve like some form of alignment, okay, to arrange your elements or the layout of your UI user interface. Okay, Flex makes it easier to be able to do that. Okay, so we have CSS grid and then Flex. Okay, so with Flex, we just display. So to be able to do that, okay, the Flex has a property that's the display Flex. Okay, if we were to be using grid, you do display grid. Okay, so display colon grid, but with Flex we'll do display colon Flex, okay, to be able to help us with the layout of our UI. Okay, so Flex works is one dimensional. Okay, one dimensional, so you are either working in the horizontal, which is the row, or you are working in the vertical, which is the column. Okay, unlike grid, which you can actually use two-dimensional, you can actually work in two-dimensional, like both row and then column. Okay, so that said, let's get started. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a container. So div dot container. So div dot container. Okay, and then inside this container, okay, I'm going to create four buttons. So let's do button, close it, and then I'm going to type hello. Okay, so hello one. Okay, and then outside it, I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and then press the down key to duplicate it four times. Okay. Okay, let me format this well. So format document with HTML. Okay. So you can see here we have what's hello one, hello one, hello one. Let's change them to, okay, we can still leave it that way. So now all we have to do is to go to our main.css to see how Flex can help us with some layouts or the properties of Flex. But that said, remember to link your HTML document. Okay, so here I have linked my HTML document, which is this. As you see, I have only two files, the HTML and then the CSS file. Okay, so remember to link your main.css. So whichever name you give to your main your CSS, okay, remember to reference it here. Okay, so inside the head tag, now I'll go to my main and then I'm going to start styling. Okay, so dot container, which is a class, so dot container. Okay, then I'm going to, sorry, the container, so n, and then let's start with display flex. So display colon flex. Okay, so we are activating flex. Okay, so nothing happens. Okay, so by default flex is in a row form. Okay, so you can actually, if you want it to the buttons or your UI or your HTML element to be vertical, that's a column, you have to do flex direction and then you do column. Okay, so column, you can see we have it vertical. Okay, if I enlarge it, it's spanning the whole screen. Okay, so we can let's work on, so I'm going to my button, so button, then I'll change my button to, so the width size, okay, to 70, so 70 px. Okay, so you can see now it's in a column. You can see we have it in a column form. If I take this out, you see it's, so Control X. Okay, it's in a row form. Okay, so now let's work with, let's see which other property to use. So I'm going for the, so we have row gap. Okay, so to space this, we can use the row gap property in Flex. So row gap, and then I'm going to do 30 px. Okay, so you can see now we have some spacing. Okay, then let's try, so let's take we also have column gap. Okay, so let's take this out, Control X. Okay, and then we are going to do column gap, so to space this, so column gap. column gap, and then I'll do 30 px. And see we have columns. Okay, so 30 pixels as a spacing for our UI. Okay, so let's go back. On better still, let me just paste them here, Control V, then I'll comment them all out. Okay, so now let's do justify content. So justify content, we have center. So let's use center. Okay, so it's centering it. Okay, and then we have align items. Okay, so a flex property called align items, and then we'll give the value of center. Okay, so nothing happens. See, it's supposed to center it horizontally and vertically. Now let's do, we have flex stats. Okay, so justify content, we have flex stats. So flex stats. Okay, so it's starting from the starting point of our UI or of our web page. Okay, and then we have, let me comment this out. We have justify content, flex end. Okay, so it's going to push it to the end of our web page. Okay, now let's do that of spacing. So we have justify content space. So justify content space evenly, or let's do space around, or better, so let's comment this out first. So control, let me comment this out, and then let's do space around. Okay, so space around. Okay, so space around is going to ensure that it has equal space around the elements, HTML element. And let's do justify content space between. So I'll comment this out. Justify content space between. Okay, so you can see you have space between evenly distributed, and then it's pushed it to the ends of the web page. Okay, so I can do justify content space around, space between, and then let's do space evenly. So justify content space, better still, let me comment this out first, then space evenly. Okay, so you're going to ensure that we have equal spacing. Okay, so equal spacing. Okay, so if you actually want to learn more about Flex, the remaining tutorials, okay, subsequent tutorials will actually be working on actual projects that will help us to see how to actually position or lay out HTML elements or UIs in our projects. Okay, so that said, thank you for watching, and then I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.